India-China emphasized on the need for an expeditious, phased and stepwise de-escalation as a priority. Senior commanders from the Indian Army and Chinese PLA earlier held a meeting on Tuesday. Six dead, 17 injured in a boiler blast in Tamil Nadu's Neyveli lignite plant. Rescue operations underway. Union Home Minister Amit Shah expresses anguish and assures the Chief Minister of all possible assistance. In the wake of the ban on Chinese apps, Union Minister Ravi Shankar Prasad says it is a great opportunity to come up with good apps made by Indians. He was speaking on the completion of 5 years of the Digital India program. President Ramnath Kovind and Prime Minister Narendra Modi wishes the nation on National Doctors' Day today. PM says the country salutes our doctors, exceptional caregivers who are at the forefront of a spirited fight against COVID-19. One CRPF personnel martyred and 3 injured and a civilian killed in the exchange of a crossfire between security forces and terrorists in J&K's Sopore village. Indian Army guns down a terrorist in a failed infiltration bid in Keri area of Rajouri district in the state. Phase 2 of unlock begins today. Relaxations in a night curfew, provision for more domestic flights and trains, schools, colleges to remain closed till the 31st of July. Metro rail, multiplexes, gyms, swimming pools, bars and auditoriums will stay shut until further orders, says the Home Ministry. The total active cases in the country record over 2.2 lakh with 3,47,978 discharged so far. 17,400 people succumbed to the illness. Global cases surpass 1 crore 4 lakh mark. Hello and welcome. You're watching DT News and DD India with me, Munmin Bhattacharya. Our top story: India and China have been engaged in discussions through established military and diplomatic channels to address the situation along the LAC in India-China border areas. Commanders from the PLA and Indian Army side held a meeting at Chushul on the Indian side for another round of talks yesterday. This was the third senior military commander level engagement to discuss issues related to disengagement at the face of sites along the line of actual control and de-escalation from the border areas. According to sources, both sides have emphasized the need for an expeditious, phased and stepwise de-escalation as a priority. This is in keeping with the agreement between External Affairs Ministers and his Chinese counterpart during their conversation on the 17th of June that the overall situation would be handled in a responsible manner and that both sides would implement the disengagement understanding of the 6th of June sincerely. That's what sources have told us. And the meeting yesterday was long and it was held in a business-like manner, keeping in view the COVID-19 protocols. The discussions reflected the commitment of both sides to reduce the tensions along the line of actual control. The process of disengagement along the line of actual control is complex, and in such a context, speculative and unsubstantiated reports need to be avoided. More meetings are expected both at the military as well as diplomatic level in future to arrive at mutually agreeable solution and to ensure peace and tranquility along the line of actual control as per bilateral agreements and protocols. Our correspondent Amritpal Singh now joins us with more on this. Amrit, the third meeting between the commanders from the PLA and the Indian Army has concluded. What would you say has come of this meeting?
What we know is it was long. Meeting was held, lasted for about 11 hours.
Right, Amrit, we are facing a problem in the audio connection with you, and we'll try and connect with you later on this. Meanwhile, okay, our correspondent Sudhir has joined us now. Sudhir, what would you say has come out of the third round of military level talks between India and China? Sudhir, if you can hear me, I was asking you about the conclusion of the third round of military level talks between India and China, and what would you say has come of that?
Fine. Is my audio okay?
So the top story that we are tracking for you is what sources have told DD News on the third round of military level talks between India and China. Well, this is the third round of talks that concluded. Two earlier rounds of talks had taken place, the first one on the 6th of June and the second one on the 22nd of June. We are trying to connect to our reporters for their inputs on this. I understand that our correspondent Sudhir Yadav is with us. Sudhir, the third round of military level talks between the Indian Army and the PLA has concluded. What has come of it? Amrit, if you are with us.
Hear me?
Yes. Amrit, if you can hear me, I was asking you that what would you say has come of this third round of talks this time around?
The third round of talks lasted for very long. What sources tell us that they were held in a very business-like atmosphere. It happened on the Indian side, that's on the Chushul. This is, as you say, the third round of talks, basically aimed at de-escalation and disengagement at the face-off sites along the LOC and de-escalation from all border areas. Both sides emphasized the need for an expeditious, phased and stepwise de-escalation. Now, this was discussed that this should be done on priority. Both sides emphasized that the need to reduce tensions along the LOC, and but it was also understood that this process of disengagement along the LAC is complex. It's built over a period of time and will take time. More meetings are expected both at the diplomatic and military level in future in the coming days to arrive at a mutually agreeable solution to ensure peace and tranquility at the LAC as per the agreed bilateral agreements and protocols. Now, Munmun, to understand what is happening really, the first priority is to see that tensions do not escalate. We do not see any violent standoffs, the like that we've seen at Pangong So on the 5th of May or in North Sikkim on the 9th, and the unfortunate incident on the intervening 9th or 14th and 15th in the Gilwan Valley area. So the first priority for both the militaries is to set in place mechanisms and communication channels for their field commanders on the ground, that even as talks go on, even as the disengagement process goes on, tensions do not escalate. The second thing, Munmun, is to go in for de-escalation, basically, which means both sides retreat. India has been pressing that this should that the Chinese PLA should move back to the status quo ante, and their militaries should restore the status quo ante, and their militaries should move back to positions in early April and May before the standoff really began. And the third is the disengagement process. Now, as sources tell us, disengagement, because the build-up is massive, started by the Chinese side and resorted by the Indian, responded by the Indian side by having a strong military build-up, as the Ministry of External Affairs had earlier clarified. Now that all this build-up is de-escalated, the build-up is thinned, and both armies return to positions which are agreed upon in the previous bilateral agreements and protocols, so that there are no face-offs, there's no eyeball-to-eyeball situation. So that is what that to unfold that process, these meetings are taking place. Munmun.
Right, Amrit. Thank you for those details. That's what sources have told DD News and what's really come off the third round of military level talks between India and China. Well, the big news that we are tracking as well is a tragic incident, which is an explosion that took place from the Neyveli lignite plant in Cuddalore district in Tamil Nadu. And the blast took place in a boiler in stage 2 of the Neyveli plant. 6 people have died as a result of that, and 17 others have been shifted to hospitals for further treatment. Power generation in the unit was stalled following the accident, while all other units in the station and other thermal plants functioned as usual. The death toll could go up as others are still feared trapped at the site. Rescue operation is underway. The cause for explosion is under investigation. This is the second such incident at the Neyveli plant at Cuddalore, and on the 7th of May also a boiler had exploded at the same plant. Neyveli is a township in Cuddalore district in Tamil Nadu. The town was developed in 1956 after the establishment of Neyveli Lignite Corporation, a public sector enterprise. Union Home Minister Amit Shah has expressed anguish over the loss of lives due to a blast at Neyveli power plant boiler. In a tweet, he said, "Have spoken to the Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu and assured all possible help. CISF is already on the spot to assist with the relief work, praying for the earliest recovery of those injured." Phase 2 of the unlock came into force today, and the centre had on Monday issued guidelines for the Phase 2. According to the Union Home Ministry, the lockdown in containment zones has been extended till the end of July, but it has tried to minimize movement curbs to boost economic activity and allowed states to take steps based on their assessment of the situation. The guidelines made it clear that states have the right to add more restrictions depending on their reading of the situation. Social distancing will, however, remain the norm in public places. The guidelines eased nighttime curfew and allowed more than 5 people at a time to visit a shop in the second phase of lifting restrictions on the movement starting the 1st of July. While the most existing curbs, such as the ban on reopening schools and colleges, as well as multiplexes, gyms and bars, and the operation of metro rail services have been maintained. India celebrates a National Doctors' Day on the 1st of July every year, and this year is even more special as our doctors have turned into COVID-19 warriors trying to fight the disease in primary and secondary care setups as well as dedicated COVID care hospitals. The day is an opportunity to offer our thanks and express our gratitude to doctors and medical professionals working round the clock to serve us. In India, this day marks the birth as well as the death anniversary of Dr. Bidhan Chandra Roy, who was one of the most renowned physicians in India. The first National Doctors' Day was celebrated in 1991 in India. This year's Doctors' Day objective is to spread awareness about hypoxia and aggressive therapy. On the occasion, President Ramnath Kovind has extended best wishes to all doctors on Doctors' Day. In a tweet, he said, "We express our gratitude to the doctors for their selfless service in fighting the COVID-19 pandemic. The nation admires and salutes our professionalism and sacrifice in the service of fellow citizens." Prime Minister Narendra Modi said India salutes our doctors, exceptional caregivers who are at the forefront of a spirited fight against COVID-19. He even shared a video expressing gratitude. In order to meet the demand of isolation beds, Railways has decided to provide 4,500 isolation beds at Anand Vihar railway station in Delhi. Meanwhile, Delhi's BJP chief Adesh Gupta, BJP MP Gautam Gambhir and MLA Om Prakash Sharma visited Anand Vihar station to review the isolation coaches reserved for COVID-19 patients. Railways has decided to provide Delhi government with railway coaches turned into isolation wards to augment the shortage of beds in view of the rising number of coronavirus cases in the city. Taking stock of the situation, Delhi's BJP chief Adesh Gupta, BJP MP Gautam Gambhir and MLA Om Prakash Sharma visited the Anand Vihar railway station. Delhi BJP chief Adesh Gupta slammed the Delhi government over spreading lies about the availability of beds, while the centre is trying to accommodate all facilities in the national capital.
अप्रैल के अंदर दिल्ली के मुख्यमंत्री साहब ने प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस करके कहा था कि दिल्ली के लोगों को डरने की ज़रूरत नहीं है, पैनिक होने की ज़रूरत नहीं है, हम 30,000 बेड्स देंगे। लेकिन दिल्ली सरकार वो काम ज़मीनी स्तर पर नहीं करा पाई। केंद्र सरकार ने जब हस्तक्षेप किया, मोदी जी के नेतृत्व में माननीय गृह मंत्री अमित शाह जी ने दिल्ली की स्वास्थ्य व्यवस्थाओं को सुधारने का काम किया है और अब जब 30,000 बेड केंद्र सरकार की तरफ से उपलब्ध हो गए हैं, उसके बाद माननीय गृह मंत्री जी ने कहा है कि हमने 30,000 बेड की व्यवस्था कर दी है।
Gautam Gambhir said that it is the Delhi government's complacency that led to the collapse of the capital's healthcare system amid the COVID-19 pandemic. The situation in Delhi is getting back on track after the effective intervention of the Union Home Minister Amit Shah, but Kejriwal government wants to take the credit.
दिल्ली की जनता जानती है कि किसने काम किया 14 जून के बाद। अगर इतना ही काम किया होता, अगर क्रेडिट का इतना ही शौक था, तो 14 जून से पहले भी ये सारी चीज़ें हो सकती थी। जो ये 10,000 बेड का जो राधा स्वामी यहाँ पर खुला है, जो यहाँ पर ये ट्रेन में जो बेड्स बने हैं, इसके बाद जो कैपिंग हुई है टेस्ट की और अग्रेसिव टेस्टिंग हुई है, ये पहले भी हो सकती थी। लेकिन सीएम साहब सिर्फ प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंसेस करते रहे, तो अब आप आगे देखेंगे कि किस तरीके से चीज़ें बेहतर होंगी।
Meanwhile, 4,500 isolation beds were prepared in railway coaches at Anand Vihar railway station, well equipped with all necessary medical facilities for treatment of COVID-19 patients. Also, the issue of cleanliness has been taken care of. Bureau Report, DD News. Expanding its services, Indian Railways has started to run as many as 350 local trains in Mumbai from today. However, the services will only be restricted to essential personnel. In addition to the essential staff, the categories instructed by Home Ministry, such as defence personnel and employees of central government, income tax, GST and customs, and Department of Posts and employees of nationalised banks, Mumbai Port Trust, Judiciary and Raj Bhavan will also be permitted to travel in select suburban services. The number of services may be modified as per the requirement to ensure social distancing norms. These trains will halt at major stations only as that of fast locals, and in the harbour line also the trains will halt at major stations only. The railways reiterated that these trains are not meant for general passengers but strictly for essential staff as identified by the state government. Entry will be given at stations strictly through ID cards of essential staff. The next phase of Operation Samudra Setu for repatriating Indian nationals is in full swing. The Indian naval ship INS Jalashwa evacuated 687 Indian nationals from Iran and has reached Tuticorin in Tamil Nadu today. INS Jalashwa arrived off Bandar Abbas in Iran on the evening of the 24th of June and entered the harbour on the 25th of June, after which medical checkups of all passengers were done. All basic amenities and medical facilities were provided to evacuees during the sea passage. This is the 6th voyage by Indian Navy ships as part of Samudra Setu program to bring back Indian nationals from neighbouring country. Indian Navy has already repatriated 3,992 Indian nationals who were stranded abroad as part of Operation Samudra Setu. A CRPF trooper was martyred and a civilian was killed, while 3 other paramilitary personnel were injured after terrorists attacked a CRPF party at model town of Sopore in North Kashmir's Baramulla district this morning. Golf Koi of 179 Battalion of CRPF reached model town Chowk in Sopore for patrolling duties. As the troops were debussing from the vehicles to occupy their respective spots of deployment, terrorists hiding in the attic of a nearby mosque started firing indiscriminately on the troops. CRPF personnel retaliated effectively. Kashmir IG Vijay Kumar said that terrorists fired from CRPF party in Sopore, resulting in deaths of a Jawan, a civilian and injuries to 3 personnel.
दिल्ली की तरह जब सीआरपी जा रही थी वहाँ पर नाका लगाने के लिए मॉडल टाउन शोपुर में, और जो ज्वाइंट नाका डेली होता है पुलिस और सीआरपीएफ का, तो जिस टाइम में सीआरपीएफ के जवान गाड़ी से डिबोर्ड कर रहा था, उसी टाइम मस्जिद के अंदर से अंधाधुंध फायरिंग आना शुरू हो गया, जिसमें सीआरपीएफ के 1 जवान शहीद हो गए, 3 जख्मी हो गए। वहाँ से कार में 65 ईयर ओल्ड एक बशीर साहब जा रहे थे, उसके गाड़ी में एक छोटा बच्चा था, वो पैनिकली गाड़ी से निकल के बच्चा को लेकर भागना चाहा, उनको भी गोली लग गया, उसमें उनकी जान गई है।
He also said that the police rescued a 3-year-old boy from getting hit by bullets during the attack.
पुलिस का एसएचओ का बहुत मैं उससे बहुत मैं इसको इनकरेज करूंगा, या मैं ये आप लोग बताना चाहूँगा, उन्होंने बहुत अच्छा काम किया, अपनी जान को हथेली में डाल के फायरिंग के बीच में जाके बच्चों को वहाँ से रेस्क्यू किया। लोगों को, उनके फैमिली मेंबर को उनको अप्रिशिएट करना चाहिए पुलिस की सेक्शन को।
Speaking on the completion of 5 years of Digital India via digital conference, Union Minister for Communications, Electronics and IT, Ravi Shankar Prasad said that ban on 59 Chinese apps is a great opportunity for Indians to come up with good apps. The minister said ban allows an opportunity for Indians to come up with apps themselves, and with this we can stop our dependence on foreign apps.
In the wake of the ban which we have imposed, I don't want to go the details of it. An emergency power has been exercised and the legal process is being followed. But I think it's a great opportunity. Can we come with good apps made by Indians? Atmanirbhar Bharat. Let the dependence on these foreign apps with their own agenda for a variety of reasons must stop. Let us take this as an opportunity that India will become a big center of made in India apps.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi has also extended greetings to professional accounting body on the Chartered Accountants Day or CA Day. He said our industrious CA community has a major role to play in ensuring a healthy and transparent economy. Their services to the nation are deeply valued. Greetings on Chartered Accountants Day. Institute of Chartered Accountants of India is India's national professional accounting body and also the second biggest accounting organization in the world. Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath launched a massive month-long communicable disease prevention program in Lucknow today. During the campaign, all districts have been asked to start a cleanliness drive during monsoon so that the spread of communicable diseases like encephalitis, dengue and others could be prevented. On the occasion, the Chief Minister said that the interstate departments' coordination will help the state to win over communicable diseases. He emphasized the need for creating public awareness, which is the key to prevention of waterborne diseases. Health workers will also go from door to door educating people on how to prevent such diseases.
पूरे प्रदेश के अंदर इंसेफ्लाइटिस को पूरी तरह नियंत्रित किया जा सका और यही स्थिति हम सबको डेंगू के लिए, चिकनगुनिया के लिए, कालाजार के लिए, मलेरिया के लिए, इन सब के लिए करना होगा। एक अभियान चला करके करना होगा और आज इसीलिए कार्यक्रम प्रदेश के सभी 75 जनपदों में, क्योंकि प्रदेश का कोई ना कोई जनपद किसी न किसी संचारी रोग के कम या ज्यादा चपेट में रहता है और 30 जिले ऐसे हैं जो केवल इंसेफ्लाइटिस से प्रभावित होते हैं। बहुत सारे जिले ऐसे हैं और खासतौर पर शहरी जीवन में रहने वाले लोगों से वहां पर थोड़ी सी असावधानी डेंगू के खतरे को काफी बढ़ा देता है। इसी प्रकार से मलेरिया, बहुत सारे क्षेत्रों में मलेरिया का प्रकोप अभी भी देखने को मिलता है। कालाजार और चिकनगुनिया भी बहुत सारे क्षेत्रों में देखने को मिलता है। इन सब पर प्रभावी अंकुश लगाने के लिए अंतर विभागीय समन्वय प्रदेश के अंदर बनाया गया और अंतर विभागीय समन्वय के माध्यम से बीमारी पर प्रभावी नियंत्रण करने के लिए स्वास्थ्य विभाग को नोडल विभाग बना करके इस कार्यक्रम को चलाया गया।
The Chief Minister added that the robust healthcare system of the state has helped people in their fight against coronavirus fearlessly.
कोरोना की जंग में बेहतर लड़ाई लड़ने के साथ ही पूरे देश के अंदर और दुनिया के अंदर उत्तर प्रदेश जैसे भारी भरकम आबादी के राज्य में न केवल बेहतरीन स्वास्थ्य सुविधा देने का प्रयास अपने स्तर पर स्वास्थ्य विभाग ने प्रारंभ किया, जिसमें इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर डेवलपमेंट से लेकर के टेस्टिंग लैब्स की फैसिलिटी को बढ़ाने को लेकर के बेहतर उदाहरण प्रस्तुत किया है अंतर विभागीय समन्वय के माध्यम से और हर एक विभाग ने लग करके इस पूरे कार्यक्रम को सफलतापूर्वक आगे बढ़ाया। 24 करोड़ लोग उत्तर प्रदेश के अंदर कोरोना कालखंड में भी भारत सरकार के सहयोग से पूरी तरह सुरक्षित अपने आप को महसूस कर रहे हैं।
Let's now take a look at the COVID-19 updates from across the world. Over 5.1 lakh people worldwide have now lost their lives due to COVID-19 pandemic, while the overall number of global COVID-19 cases have crossed the 1 crore mark. The US accounted for the world's highest number of infections and fatalities. Over 26.34 lakh confirmed cases have been reported in the US, while over 1.27 lakh people lost their lives so far. The country with the second highest number of recorded cases is Brazil, with over 14.02 lakh cases and deaths in excess of 59,000. Behind the US and Brazil, the UK has counted over 43,000 fatalities, while in terms of cases, Russia ranks third in the world with 6.46 lakh cases. The United States recorded a sixth consecutive day of record new cases of coronavirus infections. The world's largest economy is the hardest hit country by the pandemic. Several southern and western states have recorded a surge in cases after lockdown restrictions were eased. The spike has led officials in Texas, Florida and other states to tighten restrictions on business again, with warnings that hospitals may soon be overwhelmed. Meanwhile, US Vice President Mike Pence on Tuesday said he was optimistic about the progress being made on treatments for coronavirus patients and the development of a vaccine. On that note, we come to the close of this news bulletin. News and updates will continue on DD News and DD India.